Alright, so today we're going to be preparing a dish that goes by the name of Aloo Tikki Chaat. Now, chaat specifically is a very quick dish. It's eaten all across India. It's meant as an evening snack, not a full meal, but it definitely can accompany a meal if you'd like it to. Chaat's known for its ability to combine a bunch of different flavors, sweet, savory, spicy. It also has some crunchy elements, some soft elements, so it's really just kind of an explosion of flavor in your mouth.
So chaat originated in the 16th century under the Mughal rule of Shah Jahan, and it started as a remedy because there was an outbreak called cholera, which was caused due to the bacteria that existed in water in the contaminated canals. And one of the royal physicians believed that the spices in the chaat could help cure the bacteria in the water.
So the word chaat actually means to lick, so some people say that that's how it started, because this dish is so good that you want to lick your fingers after you eat it. But that's just one word, or one way that this word came about. We don't know the exact meaning.
Preparation time typically takes between 30 minutes and 45 minutes, so it doesn't take a terrible amount of time to prepare. And the rewards are quite fruitful. Okay, so pretty much what we have here are 3 boiled and mashed potatoes with the skins removed, and what we're going to do is we're going to add a bunch of spices and cornstarch to it so that it'll bind, so that we can eventually fry it and they'll turn out pretty flavorful. So right here we got cornstarch, and we're going to add a little over 2 tablespoons. Okay, just a little more. And then over here, coriander powder. Add probably 1/4 teaspoon, just a little bit, don't want to overdo it. And then over here we have chaat masala. Now what goes into this, you can pretty much buy this at any store. So again, you want to add about 1/4 teaspoon into this. This gives a little bit of, I guess, tartness, kind of a savory feel. This is kind of where that signature chaat flavor comes from. And over here, we have the fun stuff, the red chili powder. Again, you can buy this at pretty much any Indian store. You want to add, well, depending on your spice tolerance level, I typically add about 1/4 teaspoon, but then again, my spice tolerance level might be different from yours. So 1/4 teaspoon of that. And then finally for color, we want to add some turmeric. You'll find that this is pretty much added in almost every Indian dish. Chaat's not excluded from that. So over here we got another 1/4 teaspoon. All right, so now that that's all done, we'll want to get in there and mix it into a dough. So I'm gonna make it pretty smooth. And you pretty much wanna go at it for a good minute or so. Make sure it's really well mixed in there. All the spices are evenly distributed. So once things are a little better distributed, you'll want to add a few mint leaves for freshness. So over here we have about 10, and we're gonna just kind of chuck them in there and then mix them once more. Yeah, and evenly distributed. Also gives it a nice little pop of color. You can already see the turmeric doing its work. Now the potatoes look a lot yellower than they did earlier.
Okay, so here we have the tomatoes and the onions that are gonna go on the top of the actual chaat at the end of it. So I'm just gonna chop them right now.
So now that we've finished the dough making process, pretty much what we want to do now is shallow fry it. And to do so, we're probably going to make these into small balls, about the size of your palm, and then flatten it so that it's kind of like a patty shape. And once we have that patty, we can go ahead, just the right thickness. So once we're there, we can go ahead and put it in the pan. You don't want to set it too high of a flame because we want the potato to cook fully through instead of just the edges, and then having to work with 2 burned edges.
gonna start off by putting the fried potato mixture onto the plate. That's gonna be your base. And I'm just gonna plate 2. Okay, and then you can go in with our, they're called chutneys. So it's pretty messy, like it's not a very formal process. You can just put how much ever you want. All right, and then this is just kind of like all the chopped stuff, the tomatoes, sprinkle that on top. And then our chopped onions. And then we're gonna add, this is called sieve, and it's just gonna add a bit of crunch and texture. And that's about it.
Thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. We hope you learned a thing or two about Indian cuisine, specifically this dish, which is not particularly difficult to make. It can be an addition to your evening or your afternoon, your morning, anytime you can eat it, and you can thank us later.